When people hear the name Joby, they usually associate it with the extremely popular GorillaPod, a bendable travel tripod used by thousands of creators on YouTube. Well, now Joby has expanded their range, offering podcast microphones, on-camera microphones, and even camera sliders. And this exciting new product that I have here, the Joby Wavo Air wireless microphone system, aims to give creators the freedom to make content however they want. The kit features an intuitive modular mounting system, so you can use this in a variety of different ways, and with up to 50 meters of range, you should be able to get clear, high-quality audio in all kinds of situations. As someone who's been making videos on YouTube for a decade, maybe more, the one thing you learn very early on is how important audio really is. Hi, my name's Jack and welcome to another Kit Guru review. So we've all heard of brands like Rode, Sennheiser and Audio-Technica. They're all trusted brands when it comes to audio equipment. So when Joby, a brand known for making GorillaPods and tripods, decides to start making audio equipment, it's understandable that people are going to wonder if their products are any good. Especially as this wireless microphone kit costs around £220, although you can get it a little bit cheaper if you shop around. So I'm using the Joby Wavo Air transmitter microphone as the primary audio for this video now, with no effects added. I have it mounted to my chest using the magnetic pendant included in the box. After using this kit for about a week, I've got to say that I've been incredibly impressed by the audio quality coming from these. Okay, so I'm in the edit right now listening to this audio, and although it doesn't sound bad, it does have quite a lot of reverb, and I just want to point out that that's because of this room size. It's not a very big room, so the audio is just kind of bouncing around everywhere, and because of that omnidirectional mic, it is just capturing a 360 degree of all the sound. You'll hear later on in my outdoor tests that the mic doesn't sound as kind of reverberant, and it sounds a lot better, so just bear that in mind with this kit. I am in a small room, so the audio is bouncing around quite a lot. And just so you can hear the difference between this microphone and the microphone that I usually use for my Kit Guru reviews, I'm going to change to that now. This is now audio from the Rode NT1A. This is a £150 XLR microphone. The audio is going straight to my computer. There's been no effects added. How does this compare? The Wavo Air system is nicely packaged in this fairly small rectangular box. We've got some spot gloss on here, and on the back there's a detailed list of everything that's included, as well as some little illustrations too. Opening the box up, we have this magnetic clasp, nice touch, and inside we have the kit. You get two transmitters and a receiver. Having two transmitters in this kit is great because you can use them both with one receiver. This is ideal for interview situations. And if you do plan on using these for interviews, it means that whoever you're interviewing can move around freely, move away from the camera, and the audio quality will be just as clear wherever they are. On the right side of the box here, you get Joby's mounting accessories. You get a cold shoe mount adapter for the receiver so it can sit on top of your camera. You get a clip support, and there's also another one in the box, so you get two of these in total. You get a GorillaPod leg clip. This is really handy if you film yourself a lot with the GorillaPod and want to mount the receiver to it. Then finally, on this top section, you get a little magnetic mount, and this is used with the pendant. This pendant is a fantastic idea, so if you have nowhere to clip the transmitter, you can just hang it around your neck. And as I mentioned already, this is how I'm using the microphone right now in this video on the pendant, and the magnet is surprisingly strong. Taking off the top divider, you get two more compartments of accessories. Starting on the left, this is where you'll find the three USB-A to USB-C charging cables to charge both receivers and the transmitter. You get two lavalier mics that have foam windshields, and I'll be testing those later. You get a coiled TRS to TRS cable for your camera and a TRS to TRRS cable for your phone. And then you have the pendant for use with the magnetic mount from earlier on. But that's not all you get. On the right side we have a pairing pin, and under this flap we have another clip support and two wind muffs, or windjammers as Joby likes to call them. And finally you get a quick start guide that shows you all the different mounting systems, how to pair the transmitters, and that's it for what you get inside the box. And if these accessories aren't enough for you, Joby does sell an extra Wavo Air mounting kit, which includes 4 extra mounting accessories, and that's available for £42.95 on Joby's website. One thing that's missing from this kit is some kind of carry case. You get all of these great accessories, but nowhere to store them. I think for this price point, it would have been nice to have seen some kind of carry pouch. Taking a closer look at the transmitters, these do feel quite plasticky. They're made from polycarbonate and ABS plastic, and they definitely don't feel expensive or premium. The transmitter's weight is 34 grams, which is perfect as you'll be mounting these to yourself, so being lightweight is essential. And as you can see, these have this very bold black and red colour scheme, and although I understand this is Joby's brand colours, I think most people would want to hide these if they were planning to use them for professional use, as they're quite distracting. Or they might just opt to use the provided lavalier microphone instead. On the front of the transmitter, you have the power button. Hold this down to power the transmitter on. If in pairing mode, the blue LED will flash quickly. Once paired, it'll flash slowly. The LED here is broken into 4 quadrants, 3 of these signifying 5 decibels of gain, with 6 individual steps. So if my maths is right, you can increase the gain on these by 30 dB. Changing gain is done by using the plus and minus buttons on the right side of the transmitter. I do wish the LED area showed when you clip the audio. Unfortunately, you can scream into these and there is no visual cue to tell you that you've blown out the audio at all. And at the very top of the unit, you have the microphone. This omnidirectional condenser has a minus 42 decibel sensitivity and quite honestly sounds great in my opinion. Bear in mind that this is omnidirectional, so it's going to be picking up 360 degrees of audio, which in theory should introduce more ambient noise, but from my tests, this sounds fine. You also have these 2 little holes on either side of the microphone, and this is to mount the included windjammers. Now I must admit, I don't find them that easy to attach. A magnetic system would have been a lot easier to use. On the left side, you have the mic input, and this is where you can plug in a lav mic, and then you have the USB-C charging port. This is a power only port, so unfortunately, no, you cannot plug this into a computer and use it as a USB mic. The battery life on these is stated to be around 6 hours, and from my tests, this has been accurate. I'd have no problem trusting these for professional use, and the fact that you get 2 transmitters is really handy, because if one does run out of battery, you can always use the other one as backup as long as your receiver still has power. It also only takes 2 hours to charge this entire set. When the battery's low, you will see a little red LED, and when you're charging these, there will be a green LED that will turn off when they're fully charged. On the back of the transmitter, you have Joby's twist mount system, and this is great. To attach any of the included accessories, all you need to do is twist them clockwise to lock them in and anti-clockwise to take them off. It literally just takes seconds, and I love how quick this process is. Moving on to the receiver, this is actually a lot smaller than the transmitter, which makes it easy to tell which is which, although I'd have preferred the transmitters to be the smaller ones, to be honest. Like the transmitter, the receiver has a power button at the front with a small LED that blinks blue when pairing and turns solid blue when paired. On the right side, you have the audio out to connect your camera or phone, and the pair button, which you can use with the SIM pin. These are paired out of the box for me though, so I've not had to use this. On the left side, you have the USB-C port for charging, and on the back, you have the twist mount system. And that's pretty much it for the receiver. One real downside of this kit is that there's no headphone output to monitor audio levels, and there's no kind of visual on the receiver either to know how loud the audio is. Similar sets like the Rode Wireless Go feature an LCD screen and you can actually see the audio levels, and that's a great feature on that kit, and I wish we had something similar on this system. Luckily for my tests and for this video, I have the Sony a7 III, which has a headphone output, so I can monitor the audio levels. Although it is worth mentioning that I actually had to do this entire video again because the audio was slightly clipped, because I had no way to see on the receivers that the audio was clipping as I was talking. This certainly isn't a deal breaker, but for the £220 price point, it would have been nice to have had some kind of visual when the audio clips. Especially as the Rode Wireless Go 2 kit is around the same price as this, and it does have a clear indicator for audio levels. So Joby claims that this has an operating distance of up to 50 meters, so I put it to the test. So I'm out here now testing the Joby Wavo Air microphone, and honestly from our test so far, this sounds really good. Right now I don't have the wind muff on the microphone, so you may be hearing a bit of wind noise. There's also some environmental noise as well, you know, like some kids playing, birds and stuff like that, so you probably will hear that in the audio, but hopefully my voice is obviously a lot clearer. So what I'm going to do now is walk back. This apparently has a range of 50 meters, which is pretty impressive. One thing that these microphones always tend to do is as soon as the person, the subject, so me, turns around, they cut out. So I'm going to turn around in a second and we're going to see if the audio cuts out, and Tyler's going to give me a signal from behind the camera. So it did cut out? Yeah, so that cut out, and that's one thing you need to worry about with this kind of microphone, because if you're filming weddings and stuff like that, the last thing you want is to, you know, have someone turn around and then the audio is just gone. So I'm gonna keep walking back and we're just gonna see how far this picks up. So still walking backwards, I'm conscious of walking into this tree. And still being picked up okay. One thing to bear in mind is that this park is quite open. There's not that many objects in the way to sort of disrupt the transmission. If you were in a city or something like that, you may not get this kind of range. I mean, right now, this is definitely more than 50 meters. I am probably just a dot on the screen. You probably can't even see me. So this is really impressive, the fact that it's still being picked up. So right now I'm testing the microphone with the wind muff, and you get 2 of these just as you get 2 receivers. And at the moment I just want to hear if this sounds any better. The wind actually has kind of gone down a bit, which is a bit annoying, but I would use a wind muff on one of these anyway all the time because it's better than not having one at all. But I will walk around a little bit, and you know, if the wind is there, then you may be able to hear it. If not, then it's doing its job. But yeah, Tyler behind the camera is kind of like measuring the wind, and there really isn't a lot. So I mean, it probably won't make much of a difference. There's wind coming from this way, apparently, but yeah, I think it's not that much of a windy day, so it's not gonna make a huge difference. As I said, if I was using this out and about, I would use the wind muff anyway. It is better than using nothing. So now I'm testing the Lav Mic with the wireless transmitter. And interestingly, I sometimes prefer the sound of the transmitter microphone compared to the Lav Mic, but what do you think? You can hear the difference, so let us know in the comments which one you prefer. One interesting thing about using this with the transmitter though, is that unlike a normal wireless mic kit where you would tuck that behind someone's back and then you can use it however you like, this will have the same issue that I had with the transmitter before, in that as I start to walk further back, it'll cut out and you won't be able to hear me anymore. So although when you use a Lav Mic, you do get the flexibility of putting the transmitter kind of wherever you like, you know, you can clip it onto your pocket or something like that, you can't put it behind you because it just will eventually cut out. So you're still going to have this on show somewhere, or I suppose you can, you know, you can tuck it in your pocket like that and just hope, you know, it doesn't look too bulky or anything. But generally, you're not going to be able to put it behind you. So out of the two microphones you're listening to, because Tyler was doing all of the audio monitoring behind the camera, which one do you think sounded best?
Personally, I prefer the transmitter. The Lav Mic has slight better bass, it sounds nice and more full, but the transmitter, the cadence of it is very clear and it sounds better to my ears.
And that's the kind of feeling I have as well, and from different tests and microphones I've used in the past, I think the same thing. The transmitters usually sound a little bit clearer. The Lav Mics don't always sound that, I don't know, they're bassier, but they don't have that much clarity compared to the transmitter.
Exactly.
But if you were using a higher quality Lav Mic, you would get completely different results. And the cool thing about this set is that you can use whatever Lav Mic you like. As you can see from those clips, this kit definitely works up to 50 meters and maybe even more as long as there's not that much interference. This kit works on a 2.4 gigahertz frequency, and if you're at a convention or an expo or somewhere where there's a lot of wireless interference, then these may not be as reliable as you like. Another downside of this kit is that when you're recording two people with the separate transmitters, it all records to the same audio track. So in that clip you saw with me and Tyler, both our audio streams are recorded to these same tracks, which means if you wanted to edit one person's audio out because they were, I don't know, doing something weird with their mouth, for example, you can't. This is often something you'll find in interviews. When one person talks, you will lower the volume of the other person or get rid of it entirely so that you don't hear their mouth movements or their breathing or anything like that. Unfortunately, you won't be able to do that with this kit. And if you're in a situation where two people are talking over one another, this is going to make editing a nightmare. I think this is the one feature that stops this kit being 100% suitable for professional use. But for most content creators, YouTubers, people like that, this should be fine. So you've heard audio from this transmitter, both outside and inside, but you've not heard the Lav Mic inside yet. So let's switch to the Lav Mic and hear how that sounds. So now I'm on the Lav Mic. How does this sound? I think it's great that you get two of these included. As I mentioned earlier, the transmitter itself, because of this red and black color scheme, is incredibly noticeable, whereas the Lav Mic is nice and discreet. If you were to use this kit professionally, I would recommend using the Lavs. I do think that this is just a bit too distracting. And that brings me to the end of my review. I think this is a fantastic wireless microphone kit, there's no other way to describe it. However, there are a few problems with it. There's no headphone output to monitor audio levels, and there's no visual LED either to show when you're clipping. It would have been nice to have had those. It also would have been nice to have had some kind of carry case to store all of the accessories included. At this price point, I think you're going to get brilliant audio that's going to improve your videos in an instant. And it's worth bearing in mind that this is Joby's first wireless microphone kit. Considering how well this performs, just imagine what they're going to release next. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with this product range. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave it a like, it really helps out the Kit Guru channel. If you want to see more from Kit Guru, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon as well, and you'll be notified when we upload another video. If you want to pick up a cool t-shirt like the one I've been wearing in this video, the merch links are below, and you can support us on Patreon as well to unlock exclusive content. If you want the latest tech updates, be sure to follow us on social media. My name is Jack, you've been watching Kit Guru, and I'll see you in the next one.